The Joe Rogan Experience.
But my point is that, that's how the CCP operates. They will ruin your industry, your business, for the slightest offense. This happened 2 weeks ago with H&M and Nike. Okay?
And it's because the business is tied to China, because China does do business with the NBA.
Huge business.
Huge business.
Huge business.
And you think that this is it because China enjoys having the NBA as an entertainment entity, or is it
Chinese people love the NBA?
That's what it is?
The NBA is huge in China. It's also, if you think about it from the NBA's perspective, that's their growth, that's their future.
Right.
That's their biggest growing market for everything, from jerseys to games to you name it.
And with a lot of sports, that's the case too.
And with Hollywood, and with the stock markets, and with Silicon Valley tech companies, and with American universities, all of the sectors of American society see the Chinese economic market as a huge lure, as well they should.
And they do edit films to appease the standards of the Chinese party.
Self-censorship is the cost of doing business.
Right, but there's certain things they do, like in Doctor Strange, the Tibetan master was replaced by an Anglo-Saxon woman.
Yeah. This is my Tibetan face mask, and now this episode will never be aired inside mainland China. Did I just...
Just now? Well, I think it's probably already not going to be aired because of all the shit you said.
Yeah, that too. But now this will really seal it. Okay? And good. You know what I mean? That's not to say we shouldn't engage the Chinese people. We need exchanges. We need to have business there. And this is another sort of conundrum of the U.S.-China relationship that I try to take a stab at in my book, which is that, we have to engage with the Chinese people. We can't decouple our economies. We can't live in two different worlds forever. It's not going to work.
Right.
But we have to find a way to live with China, and we have to convince the Chinese government to find a way to live with us in a way that doesn't compromise our security and our prosperity and our public health. In other words, while we would love, it's not about regime change, it's not about a Cold War. These are sort of like bumper stickers that people throw out to dissuade people from having an honest conversation about how to deal with a Chinese Communist Party that is becoming increasingly problematic in ways that affect our lives. And what I'm trying to say is that, we have to be clear-eyed that, this is not about China or the Chinese people. This is about the party. This is the way the party operates. Do you think that so there's that company that was airing the NBA games. They're making a lot of money off of that. They didn't want to stop airing the NBA games. They had to do that because the party said so. When Nike, what did H&M do? They put up a statement questioning whether or not the cotton they were getting from Xinjiang was made with forced slave labor. Just so, hey, we're going to look into it. For that one statement, their entire business in China was crushed. Okay, Nike, same thing. For years, they resisted. These companies, again, they're in a tough position. I get it. Hey, the cotton that you're sending us, was that picked by forced labor slaves? Are we allowed to ask? Is it okay? Just for that, Nike's business was destroyed inside China. Propaganda campaigns.
How so was it destroyed?
They literally create they do boycotts. And again, it's not like here where you can boycott something, but you have to convince people. There, it's like if the government says there's a boycott, there's a boycott, right? And then your company can't sell anything in China, and that's 40% of your business. You're fucked. It's a pretty big incentive, right? And none of these companies are powerful enough to stand up to the CCP on their own, which is why I think they have to work with the U.S. government in some sort of way, but that's not really going on because politicians just want to dunk on the companies or they want to criticize them for not doing the right thing, but there's no positive incentives to say to the NBA, hey, listen, why don't we, get together on this thing and we'll use our diplomatic pressure and our diplomatic tools to make sure that American companies and industries don't get punished by the party for bullshit, like a tweet, but we're not sophisticated enough in our discussion of China or in our government response to China to actually make that happen. But I think that's basically where we have to go, and which brings up another inescapable question, which is, if Nike's using slave labor for their shoes, why are sneakers so expensive? What's the
It's a very good question.
How are sneakers $150? But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
What would they cost if you paid people well?
Exactly.
Yeah. And what's happening? Is it just greed?
Yeah.
Massive profit margins?
Yeah. So anyway, this is a long way of saying that the parties, to understand China, you have to understand that the party is in control of everything. And that dealing with that is just the way things are now. And that doesn't mean that we have to have a Cold War or that we have to decouple from China. It just means we have to figure out a new way to first try to convince them not to do the worst things, and then second, to protect ourselves if they insist.
Catch new episodes of the Joe Rogan Experience for free only on Spotify. Watch back catalog JRE videos on Spotify, including clips. Easily, seamlessly switch between video and audio experience. On Spotify, you can listen to the JRE in the background while using other apps and can download episodes to save on data cost, all for free. Spotify is absolutely free. You don't have to have a premium account to watch new JRE episodes. You just need to search for the JRE on your Spotify app. Go to Spotify now to get this full episode of the Joe Rogan Experience.